Good afternoon, everybody. This is Christian Roberts. I'm back with another video, and today I would like to discuss the relationship between penicillin and bacteria, and also want to mention bacteria resistance. So before I go to the next slide and proceed on, I want to kind of go to the basics and the background story of penicillin. So penicillin, which was originally called penicillin G, was really discovered, the structure was discovered in 1896 by a French medical student named Erdős Dutchnies. But unfortunately, due to financial instability, the chemists at the time, keep in mind it was the late 19th century, the curriculum wouldn't allow them to really actually produce the drug for usage. So it wasn't until 32 years later in the 1920s, which is 1928, was when a Scottish physician named Alexander Fleming discovered the first actual antibiotic drug agent, the actual drug, the pill, the first actual pill. So penicillin is basically a group of antibiotics that fight the bacteria by binding to the molecules of the bacteria cell walls which is basically the peptidoglycin, which is basically that's what they're really called. And the purpose of penicillin is to really disrupt the cell wall, basically disrupt cell wall synthesis, and it's considered a beta lactate antibiotic. And I also want to basically mention the fact that penicillin, even though it was discovered in 1928, it wasn't really utilized and used worldwide and wasn't available to the public until right after World War II, which was in 1945. And in between that time frame, there were some people that was dealing with bacterial infections, and they started using it for certain people, which is basically people who were higher income, basically. And it was working on them, so they made it out to the public right after World War II. And penicillin is really used to treat a variety of bacterial infections like ear, throat, skin infections, pneumonia, and even STDs sometimes. But I'm about to proceed along. So, how does penicillin kills bacteria? The main target that the antibiotic targets is the cell wall by disrupting it. The cellular wall synthesis will be inhibited. That's the whole purpose of penicillin. However, I want to go to depths of the particular enzyme that it's basically going to really come for. So I'm going to talk about the impact of cell wall, which is the peptidoglycan synthesis. So see, this is a diagram basically showing this is the cell wall and this is the drug efflux. So this is the transporter. So when the person takes the bag B beta lactams antibiotics, which is penicillin, it's going to go into this drug transporter and it's going to antagonize the enzyme called transpeptidase, which is that specific enzyme, which is that enzyme that converts the cellular wall synthesis, that converts all the other enzymes, the other steps of cellular wall synthesis. So that's basically what was the purpose of it. And this is the molecular structure. This is, see, keep in mind the nitrogen, hydrogen, and it has 4 oxygen groups. It has 2 nitrogens, 3 hydrogens, and a sulfide group. And this is the pill. This is the pill that people take modern day. And I want to cover the antibiotic resistance overview. This side is the antibiotic action, which is cell wall synthesis, and it has beta lactams on this side. But when it comes to antibiotic resistance, it also has it on this side. So I'm gonna kind of get into the basics of it. Over time, even though penicillin, even though it's still utilized today, there was a point in time when penicillin wasn't as effective like it was when it was first made to the public. So what happened was the bacteria ended up being evolving over time because of the usage and because of the environment and everything. The bacteria, basically, the more you used it, the bacteria was able to kind of resist it and kind of go and restrain, like basically handle the antibiotic. So over time, they had to kind of physicians and researchers had to kind of bring some of the agents from some of the enzymes and some of the influence from penicillin and kind of make other varieties to kind of make it more effective. So that's why you see antibiotic action. You see beta lactams over here. That's why you see antibiotic resistance. You see beta lactams over here. See, the action is basically you see cell wall synthesis is going to be inhibited. And then the resistance when the efflux pump is going to be inhibited, which means it's going to prevent the antibiotic from coming in. That's why the bacteria will be able to handle the antibiotic and we'll be able to restrain it. So the antibiotic resistance mechanism of bacteria, like I said before, there's various mechanisms of bacteria that is used to resist penicillin. It focuses on the cell permeability changes. Like I said, the more, for example, the more individual takes the antibiotic, the more the cell is going to get used to it. Because once your body consumes something, it's going to get used to it, and it's going to be set to get used to it. That's what your body naturally does. So the modifications of cellular structural wall will be changing, and then then the production of beta lactase related enzymes will be created because the fact that the bacteria resisted penicillin so much, it was able to kind of take part of some of the enzymes and kind of protect itself from it. So it evolved over time to survive in the presence of antibiotic such as penicillin. Moving on. So as I conclude, I basically want to say penicillin is still active today. So I want to say that we concluded that the penicillin only disrupts cell wall synthesis and bacteria has evolved itself some restraint towards antibiotic resistance mechanisms over time. The overuse of penicillin has led to the development of anti-resistant bacteria, which makes the antibiotic less effective. However, physicians and researchers established other penicillin-based antibiotics such as ampicillin, penicillin V. Um, they also established methicillin and penicillin D, and then cardiopecillin is also one for the heart, for heart disease. So they, with the technology and how, thanks to the technology and the investment and the progressions, we have able to come up with a variety of things now compared to when it was first created back then. And these were my works, resources cited. This is where I got all my information from. I hope that everybody who is watching enjoyed the PowerPoint. Thank you and see you another time.